Hello, Lagos. Yes, so it's a beautiful Saturday in the city of Lagos. I'm your girl, Sheon Adelo, your one and only sunshine. And it's always a great privilege to be on Echo 89.7 FM, the first on your mind. And today is that time of the day to bring another amazing edition of Prime Parent with Dr. Toyin Ajayi-Osakwe to your hearing. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us again. This is Prime Parents, and we are here to help one another to build the future. We've been talking about parenting your teenagers without tears.
Yes.
And somebody wants to ask, why are they without tears?
The tears is not for today. It's not present tears. It's the future tears.
It is future tears. You
Yes.
have a point. But do you know that there are some parents that are having the tears today?
As they are training them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever been with a teenager in the house? We all pass through that stage, really.
Mm-hmm.
But the situation whereby you are having it tough for them to comprehend, to listen, to act the way you want them to do things.
Mm-hmm.
A situation whereby you are always at loggerheads
With
when
them.
it comes to opinions, ideas, options.
Mm.
That is where we talk about parenting them without tears. The truth is that a lot of parents have it very, very tough with their teenagers. I remember those days when we were growing up, my brother and mine, we were just two boys, you understand? That guy gave my dad a hell of time.
What about you? You are speaking of somebody else.
I'm so small compared to that, I only observe.
Well, the observation
But when I
you
got to
manifested
his
it.
own, when I got to his own age
Yes.
at my time,
Yes.
I've learned so much about all the things that he did, and
Okay.
to a very large extent, I do not enjoy those parole. Let me use that word.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they can be chasing each other around the house. The man will carry cane. He will be following him. Sometimes he will run away from the house. So with time, we begin to develop some curriculums on how we can understand how their mind works,
Okay.
and try so much to meet them halfway. If you want to go the cultural, the traditional approach, there's still going to be a lot of tears from both sides. Emotions will run. The battle will be so hot between both of you. You understand? And you heard about Osanle now.
Yes.
At least I have a situation. One of my sisters was engaged for almost 7 months. She disappeared from the house.
Wow.
These are things parents go through. And that is why we are trying so much at this time that, okay, knowledge has increased. We've tried to research into the mind of these young people.
Mm-hmm.
We try to see what they want, how we can meet them halfway, things that can be adjusted, things that we can improve on.
Yeah.
And that is why we are here. Let's go on a very short break. When we return, we will continue from where we stopped last week. Don't touch the dial.
All right. We'll be right back.
I was lost before you found me, walking roads that led nowhere. You saw something I couldn't see, like I was worth the air I breathe. You spoke my name like you didn't mean it, like I wasn't just passing through. For the first time I believed it, every word you said was true. You were light inside my dark. You rewrote my broken heart. Then you left before the start.
what truth are you giving your children
to make me better.
to make them a better person?
Yes, so that is what that song is, passing to us. So as I was saying, we are living in a time where we can actually engage them. Is it pragmatically now? As in, we're trying to touch where it matters.
Yes.
So it's just not about complaining. If I want to ask you, Sunshine,
Yeah.
how will you approach a teenager, as a child or as an adult?
At that point, they feel they are now an adult,
Yes, that is the feeling
that they have.
Yes.
So
Are they really adults?
they are not.
Hmm.
And that's why parents or guardians are there to help them to differentiate.
Exactly. So somebody is, we expect, or we assume that somebody is more mature than the other.
True.
But today, parents, we discover that a lot of people get into parenting without having that what is required
Of them.
to be a parent. So a lot of them grow up to be very, negatively impacted as young people. They never learn, they never listen, they do not learn discipline.
So what you don't learn or what you don't know, how can you pass it on to
Exactly.
somebody
So
else?
what you don't have, you can't give. So we can't just go on now just talking, lashing on the teenagers. You don't do this, you expect it to be this, you expect it to be that. We can't go on that route. It's not going to work,
Yeah.
because it's like we are having two immature individuals that are now clashing with, with whatever they want. But to those of us who are privileged to hear some of these things we are saying,
Yeah.
a lot of parents need to work on themselves. What am I up against? What did I have? What knowledge have I retained that I can use?
True.
Do you understand?
Yes.
There was a teenage girl that I saw, very terrible situation.
Wow.
The Delta State Police Command that was publishing it this afternoon. She left with somebody to Ivory Coast.
Okay.
You know, this trafficking of a teen.
Yeah.
She's 19-year-old. The parents were not involved, were not informed.
They have no idea.
They have no idea. They promised her, the normal
Yeah. Good life.
narrative is going to be job and stuff like that. In fact, this one, they told her that it is even somewhere in Europe,
Wow.
until she ended up in Ivory Coast.
Mr. Europe.
On getting there, discovered that it was for prostitution, as we know. That is usually the line. Now, to some extent, she resisted. She was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then from there, possibly as at that time they moved to the second stage of their plan, they got her drugged, and then they took some of her organs away. Now, from the information we got, they said her womb. As a doctor, there is nothing like wound transplanting for now. Why would you want to transplant somebody? Do you understand? But they showed part of the plastering, the plaster they use on the abdomen.
Okay.
So you discover that both left side of the abdomen were plastered, which is the position of the kidneys.
Ooh.
So when we're talking about organ harvesting, that is another very booming industry. So you can see where one thing led to another. Look at what we are discussing now. We're talking about teenagers resisting, teenagers not being well tutored,
Want to
teenagers
make that money.
not cultured enough to know
The
that
decisions.
there is time for everything in life. Times are difficult, yes, we know. Poverty is one thing that is ravaging everywhere. So, from what we were told, it was still a kind of womb thing. But to me, it is more than womb. Possibly one of the kidneys has been taken.
Because she's still alive.
Yes, now you need half one kidney to survive. You understand? So possibly they just leave one for her. And they return her because, according to her story, the person that introduced her to this syndicate, to these traffickers, is related to her father.
Wow.
So, in our own case now, is a kind of when they said aberento lokunti.
Yeah, so it can be traced.
It can, yes, she can be traced. I'm sure that's why they even find a way of bringing her. Do you know how many died in the process and forgotten? So these things we talk about, engaging them, and I say parenting is not something you wake up to. It's not a venture that you just like, okay, oh,
You find yourself
you
in
just
that
find that.
situation.
No. There is always a preparation and there is a progress. And one stage should be built on the other. At the age of 2, there is a way you engage your child. At the age of 4, okay, at the age of 6, 10, everything at one stage must be built on the other, and everything ought to be balanced. That is parenting. It's a kind of management. And if you are not aware enough, you understand, when we are talking about an informed parent having those necessities, I tell people it's better not to go into it. It's not by force. You understand?
Yes.
We've seen teenagers leave home with 2 or 3 clothes in their school bag. You understand?
Yes.
Some will not even get to school, while they will just from there
Move.
disappear to somewhere else. But a child that you have from the beginning been able to get hold of the mind, getting old, not to control them,
Yes.
but you have been able to sell some certain ideas into their soul. To the
Want
point
your
that
money
they
to
know,
one
do you
share.
understand? To the point that they know that, look, there are some certain barriers, some certain what we call boundaries that they cannot cross. I told you how those days were. You're asking how about me. Up to today, I say I don't born like this. Night is a horror to me because it was sold into me those days. My dad would sit in front of his house. That is palace there. He's the king of that environment. Once it's 7 p.m., you are not inside that house. Stay wherever you are coming from. The man will tell you, don't cross that gate. As a matter of fact, I never fell into that category because I have a lot of them ahead of me who I could see the consequences. They will go outside begging people to come and beg him for them to get inside because the man put his feet on the ground. I said, look, this is how I operate here. This is why, this is what I want. This is exactly how I'm going to do things. Now, in as much that I found that some of his measures are extreme those days,
Yes.
because yes, we are getting better by the day, we are now trying to modify some of these things. Okay?
Yes.
What we do now is that we try as much as possible to know exactly what they want, find out the reason behind those things that they need, give only what is necessary. Luxury in its own time, even when luxuries is, needs to be attended to, let it be luxuries that are necessary. Not going about, just in a parent, you have a iPhone 4, is it iPhone 14 or iPhone 17? What do they call now? This latest whatever.
17.
A 17-year-old girl. He has the Apple, this iPad, he has that phone. Do you understand? Just like, okay, because the money is there, you throw these things at them. Number one, this person does not even know the value of some of these things. They never understand what you have to go through
To get
to
it.
get them of those money. You understand?
Yes.
And then they begin to challenge your authority and face you head on to let you know that, look, you see, it gets to that point where you can no longer reverse a lot of damages that you yourself has caused
By yourself.
by yourself. So these things are key. So I was talking about some of the challenges they face at home, okay, in the idea of trying to treat them like a child. He's not a child. A lot of the time, if they have siblings that are younger
Then
than them, you don't begin to compare them with those ones. Those are the places where you begin to have some kind of pushback. They will give you attitude and they will want to rebel.
true.
You want to speak to them, give them that regard of calling them aside and try to express what you really want of them. A lot of the time, don't assume that they will behave exactly like you. That is another major problem we have as parents. We are all different people. Don't expect them to be like the other person. Don't expect them to be like their friends. Find out who they are. Let them be what they should be. That is your duty as a parent. It's a tough, tall job. It's not just for anyhow people. It's for people who are intentional and they are very serious about what they want to get out of life. Because as we said, it's stages upon stages. It gets to a point where they will completely out of your hand. They are out of your control. And whatever that is left of them at that time, that is what you are ready to settle for. So if this is the type that tells you that calls you, Ace, come here. Yeah? That is what you have been able to produce. And if it's the type that honors you and brings glory to you, that is what you have been able to produce.
True.
Let's go on a very short break. We'll open the phone lines, and if anybody has anything to share with us, let us just discuss and then have some nice time together. Don't touch the dial.
Now I hear you in my thoughts, and every choice I try to make, every lesson that you taught is a part I can't erase. I'm stronger than I was before, but it came with losing you. You opened up a different door, then walked out of the view. If I had to choose again, through the joy and through the pain, I will let you in the same. You made me better, now I can see someone I was meant to be. Every piece you left behind still lives inside my mind. I was broken, you were the cure, but nothing in this life is sure. Now I carry what you gave away. You made me better, but you didn't stay.
Welcome back. It's still Prime Parents with Dr. Toyin Ajayi-Osakwe on Echo 89.7 FM, the first on your mind.
Yeah.
And I remain your one and only sunshine. To join the conversation, 0825 897 5897. 0825 897 5897. Do well to call in, send WhatsApp messages or WhatsApp call, SMS messages. Just send something. Let's hear from you. Whichever
Yeah.
kind of message you want to send.
Yes. And tell us about your childhood. You can also tell us if you have concern for somebody who possibly having issues raising their teenage children. Okay? Let us be
A good neighbor.
good neighbor. We want to continue saying that. Let us be good neighbors. Another thing, challenges that they face at home is when parents fight in front of these people.
Hey.
You understand? There's one of our pastors those days that he was smoking it out with his wife,
Wow.
and he came to church to confess.
Oh.
You understand? Because they could no longer control their emotions, so they became physical. Until the daughter, the elder daughter, daddy, he be pastor ni.
That was when it dawned on
Do
you.
you understand?
When your child becomes the parent.
She be pastor ni. You are a pastor, dad. You are a pastor. That is when it dawns on him, and he led the place quietly. Now the point is this: you have already set a precedent. You are telling that teenage, that one is again. Supposing it's a man, it's a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? You have already passed a message. There are those days that teenagers comes to school to beat up girls. They are just aggressive. What do we call these people that have issues with women? Cannot think not narcissists. The chauvinists.
Just sit down because of the upbringing, because of
Do you
what they've
understand
seen,
what
the experience.
they've experience? When you fight, there was one of my neighbors then that will be. In fact, that one even treats the mother of these children like a slave. If this woman, if they have issues, she will go and bring out bed and ask her to lie down. We'll be hearing, lie down there. The first time I heard lie down there, I think it was dealing with one of those children. Actually dealing with the woman. Lie down there, lie down there.
God no go shame us.
And then we will be giving her lashes, beating her, as in serious beating.
God I beg.
They say that is how to handle women. That once they are beaten, then their head will straight.
So
Yeah?
we need to handle the man thing like that so that his head he can have a brain reset.
Now, when you do this, I'm saying this to some people out there. It may not even be that physical. Sometimes the words we use on each other, the way and the manner we address each other, when there is no respect between parents in front of their teenagers, you are sowing very terrible seeds. And you know what? You are not just only destroying the life of those children, you are contaminating the rest of the society. Because those children will go out there, to replicate that nonsense that you have already established in that house.
Yes.
Another thing is deciding on their behalf. We are talking about cooperative
Yes.
parenting. A situation whereby you are trying to get along together. Cooperative. You seek their opinion
On things.
on issues, on things that concerns them. I talk about deciding on their behalf. Sometimes you will be pushing them into things that they don't want to do, something they don't want. For instance, there's one of my boys, one of his birthdays, he told the mom that, look, I don't want to celebrate this thing at school.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? We're like, okay, why? To me, now, in fact, it's okay if we help me now
Because you
know
not
I'm going
spend.
to spend money. Yeah, son. It was the mom that I know. This is clinical. I just walked away because there are certain things that just piss me off. I don't want to put my mind to it. Do you know that this young man eventually took this thing to school? He has known that there are some certain elements, some people, some of his classmates,
Yes.
who have actually planned against him to mess him up. He has a sense of it, but he did not really know. It was when he brought those things and then they started, in fact, they throw those things back.
Wow.
As of the time he came back, some of them walked to him and consoled him that we always know that there are some certain people who actually wanted to do this. You understand? just forget about it. And I have to now tell the mom, you can see what we're saying. This young man is saying, look, I don't want to do this.
You say, by force, by
Do you
force.
understand? I don't want to do this. That can have a long-term trauma
Yes.
on their confidence. And then you have to go and begin to do damage control. You have to now begin to prop them up and try to do other things. You understand? And a situation whereby you make no provision for their upkeep. That is sometimes what led to some of these, especially for the girls. They see their friends, they make friends.
They
and
see
then
what they
some
do.
of the things they do, and they think some of these people use. Two things you can do in that manner. If you know that you don't have that backbone, you know, to contend with the kind of friends,
That they
the
move with.
financial strength those one has, cut her off. You know, look for a way to discourage her
From
such people. Okay? Or at worst, let her know that, look, you must know how to cut your coat according to your material, not according to your size. The material that you have, that is what you are going to cut. My time has been fast spent, and
We'll see next week.
we were going to continue next week.
God's willing.
Yes, and the social media handles.
Yeah, so if you missed any of our previous episodes, check them out on YouTube and on Facebook at Prime Parents. YouTube Prime Parents, Facebook Prime Parents. Like, follow, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week, God's willing. We wish you the very best and stay blessed.
Goodbye.
Bye from our end.
Then disappeared without a trace. Now I'm standing in the truth you gave. You made me better, but you didn't stay. Now I hear you in my thoughts, and every choice I try to make, every lesson that you taught, here's a part I can't erase. I'm stronger than I was before, but it came with losing you. You opened up a different door, then walked out of the view. If I had to choose again through the joy